Have you ever paused to consider a quiet yet seismic shift happening all around us? It's a revolution not of politics or technology, but of age itself. For generations, the narrative of growing older in the Western world has followed a predictable, often dreaded path. It was a story that ended, for many, behind the sterile doors of a nursing home, a place synonymous with loss, the loss of independence, of community, of self. We were told to prepare for it, to accept it as the final, inevitable chapter. But what if that story is a lie? What if the very concept of the nursing home as the default destination for our elders is rapidly becoming a relic of a bygone era? If you are in your 60s, 70s, or even well into your 80s, you are standing at the threshold of a new world. This is not wishful thinking. It is a tangible reality, backed by data, fueled by innovation, and built by seniors just like you who are refusing to let their futures be written by fear or outdated systems. The assumption that life after 75 is a narrow corridor leading only to a hospital bed or a lonely apartment is being dismantled brick by brick. The most brilliant innovations in senior living are not emerging from medical institutions. They are blossoming in our living rooms, in community gardens, on shared digital platforms, and even in cleverly redesigned neighborhoods. This exploration is for the curious, the vibrant, the individuals who believe that the twilight years should be illuminated by choice, not shadowed by limitation. We will journey through the most powerful and transformative trends that are redefining what it means to age with dignity, connection, and purpose. These are not distant theories. They are real, growing movements that offer a new vision for your future, a future you can actively shape. Prepare to be surprised, uplifted, and perhaps inspired to see your own path forward in a completely new light. The age of passive aging is over. The age of empowered aging has begun. 1. The architecture of belonging, the rise of intentional communities and co-housing. Across the country, a quiet but profound movement is taking root in the very soil of our communities. Older adults, armed with a lifetime of experience and a clear vision for their future, are becoming the architects of their own aging. They are not waiting for corporations or healthcare conglomerates to build their next home. They are building it themselves, together. These are known as intentional senior communities and co-housing arrangements, and they represent a powerful rejection of one of the most painful side effects of modern aging: profound, soul-crushing loneliness. Imagine this scenario. A small group of retired teachers, friends for over 30 years, decide they've had enough of rattling around in empty nests miles apart. They pool their resources, not just financially, but intellectually and emotionally. They purchase a modest plot of land, and instead of erecting a fortress of solitude for each, they design a small, clustered neighborhood. Each has a private, small-footprint cottage, their sanctuary, but these homes face a shared central courtyard, a vibrant community garden, and a common house with a large kitchen and cozy library. This isn't a retreat from the world. It's the creation of a new one, built on the principles of mutual support, shared joy, and unwavering respect for independence. What makes these communities so revolutionary is that they are forged around shared values, not just shared plumbing. One community might be dedicated to ecological sustainability, with solar panels and extensive composting. Another might be an artist's enclave, with a shared studio and gallery space. A third might simply be founded on the principle of aging together with kindness. In these spaces, you are not a patient to be managed. You are a neighbor to be known, a friend to be cherished, a human being whose presence matters. If you found this initial exploration into intentional communities inspiring, and you believe in the power of building your own support system, please let us know by commenting with the number 1 below. Your engagement helps us understand what resonates most with you. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung wrote extensively about the second half of life. He argued that the greatest tragedy of aging isn't the body's decline, but the psychological pain of feeling invisible and useless, of being put on a shelf. Intentional communities are a direct and potent antidote to this existential crisis. Here, older adults are not just residents, they are essential. They cook together, organize potlucks, check on one another after a storm, and share skills, books, tools, and time. There's a built-in rhythm of purpose. Consider the story of Joyce, an 82-year-old widow living in an intentional community in North Carolina. She told a local journalist, "After my husband passed, the silence in my house was deafening. My children are wonderful, but they have their own busy lives. Here, the silence is a choice. I can read in my cottage for hours, but I know that at 5 p.m., a few of us will be gathering on the porch." We decided we didn't want to grow old in silence. We wanted to laugh together. We wanted to be seen. This model, often referred to as co-housing, is not a commune where all property is shared. It is a sophisticated hybrid that masterfully balances privacy with community. You own your home and your finances, but you co-own and co-manage the shared spaces. This fosters a unique sense of ownership and responsibility. The we becomes as important as the I. The real beauty isn't in the architecture, but in the mindset it cultivates. It's the radical idea that you can age with others without losing yourself, that you can build your future with your own hands, even if those hands are a little slower than they used to be. Of course, this path is not without its challenges. It requires immense planning, open communication, and the drafting of clear agreements on everything from pet policies to conflict resolution. But for a growing number of seniors, the effort is a small price to pay for a life rich with connection. And the world is starting to notice. Zoning laws are slowly adapting to allow for these innovative housing clusters, and builders are recognizing a market driven not by profit margins alone, but by a deep human need for belonging. After a lifetime of work, doesn't it make sense to spend our later years not just surviving, but truly belonging? Do you have any experience with or thoughts on co-housing or intentional communities? We would be fascinated to hear your perspective. Share your story or opinion in the comments section. Building a community of ideas starts right here. 2. The Silent Guardian: How Technology is Forging a New Era of Independence. If there is a single force that has fundamentally altered the landscape of aging in the 21st century, it is technology. But we're not talking about the flashy, complicated gadgets you see in science fiction films. We are talking about a quiet, almost invisible revolution of smart, intuitive tools that are empowering people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond to live in their own homes longer, safer, and with more dignity than ever before. This is the trend of tech-powered aging in place, and it is turning the traditional care model on its head. Let's begin with the most primal fear associated with living alone in later years: the fear of falling. For decades, the only solution was a conspicuous panic button worn around the neck, a constant clinical reminder of vulnerability. Today, the solutions are far more elegant and respectful. Smart sensors, no larger than a coin, can be placed discreetly under rugs, in door frames, or even within light bulbs. These devices don't use cameras or microphones. They don't watch you. They simply learn the rhythm of your life, your patterns of movement. If that pattern is suddenly and drastically interrupted, such as by a fall, or if a concerning lack of motion is detected, for instance, you haven't entered the kitchen by your usual time, the system sends a gentle, private alert to a designated family member or caregiver. It's not surveillance, it's a silent guardian. This technological support system extends far beyond emergencies. The modern smart home is becoming a proactive partner in wellness. A simple voice assistant like an Amazon Echo or Google Home can become a personalized health aid. It can offer audible reminders to take medications, check blood sugar, or perform physical therapy exercises. A smart stove can be programmed to shut off automatically if left unattended for too long, preventing a common and dangerous household accident. Smart lighting can illuminate a path from the bed to the bathroom at night, dramatically reducing the risk of a disoriented stumble in the dark. Consider Larry, a fiercely independent 79-year-old widower who has no intention of ever leaving the home he built with his wife. His children, living hundreds of miles away, were understandably anxious. They worked with him to install a few of these discreet devices. Now, if Larry, a man who has made coffee at 8 a.m. every single day for 50 years, doesn't activate the smart plug connected to his coffee maker by 9 a.m., his daughter gets a simple text message. It doesn't trigger an alarm, it simply says, "Dad's routine has changed this morning." She can then call him for a casual chat to check in. Larry doesn't feel watched, he feels cared for. The technology doesn't hover, it enables a lighter, more respectful touch of connection. This represents a profound psychological shift. Carl Jung emphasized the human need to maintain autonomy and a sense of self, even in the face of physical decline. The right technology supports this beautifully. It doesn't infantilize you by taking over your life, it provides a subtle scaffolding that supports your ability to remain who you are, on your own terms, in your own cherished space. If this information about technology empowering seniors to be a game changer, please comment with the number 2 below. It's fantastic to know that these practical solutions are reaching and inspiring you. And we cannot overstate the impact of telemedicine. In the past, a simple consultation with a specialist could consume an entire day, arranging a ride, navigating a confusing medical complex, waiting for hours in a crowded room. Now, secure video platforms allow you to have a face-to-face appointment with your doctor from the comfort of your favorite armchair. Chronic conditions can be managed with unprecedented ease, as daily blood pressure readings, glucose levels, or oxygen saturation can be transmitted automatically from home monitoring devices directly to your healthcare team. This is not only saving lives, it is preserving precious energy and sanity. Beyond health and safety, technology is also a powerful antidote to social isolation. Specially designed apps and simplified tablets are connecting seniors with communities both near and far. In some neighborhoods, a single app connects a dozen seniors who now meet for a weekly trivia night, a walking club, or a book discussion group, all because someone had the courage to click join. The true elegance of this trend is its subtlety. It's not about showing off or proving that seniors can keep up. It's about the quiet confidence that comes from knowing your home is working with you, not against you. It's about giving your loved ones peace of mind while preserving your own breathing room. And crucially, these tools are becoming more accessible. Many are increasingly affordable, and some services are even being covered by insurance plans and community programs, which recognize that it is far more cost-effective and humane to help people thrive at home than to transition them prematurely into institutional care. Aging in place no longer means sitting alone waiting for a knock on the door. It means having a home that is an active, intelligent partner in your well-being, a silent safety net that catches you before you fall, and a digital bridge that keeps you connected to the people and passions you love. If these insights have brought value to you, please consider supporting our work by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and turning on the notification bell. Your support is what allows us to continue creating insightful content to inform and empower our community. 3. Weaving the generations, the heartwarming renaissance of intergenerational living. One of the most heartwarming and surprisingly practical solutions to the challenges of aging is not a new invention at all, but a return to a timeless wisdom. We are witnessing the renaissance of intergenerational living, not merely as an economic necessity, but a deliberate and beautiful choice. More and more families are discovering that bringing 3 generations under one roof, or at least onto the same property, does far more than save money. It restores a profound sense of purpose, mends fractured connections, and rebuilds the very fabric of family that modern life has so often frayed. Let's be clear, the new model of intergenerational living is not a return to the chaotic, overcrowded households of the past, where privacy was a luxury and personal space was non-existent. Today's approaches are smart, respectful, and often exquisitely designed to balance togetherness with autonomy. Think of a beautifully converted garage that becomes a granny flat or accessory dwelling unit, ADU, complete with its own small kitchen, accessible bathroom, and private entrance. You are physically close, but you are not underfoot. You are an integral part of the family ecosystem, yet you remain the sovereign of your own domain. Consider the Crawfords, a family in Ohio. Ellen, 72, was widowed a few years ago. The loneliness was becoming a heavy burden, and her daughter, Sarah, was constantly worried. They decided on an intergenerational solution. They renovated their spacious walkout basement, adding large windows for natural light, soundproofing the ceiling, and installing a modern kitchenette and an elegant stairlift. It is no dark cellar. It is a warm, cozy, and private apartment that is entirely Ellen's. She joins the family upstairs for dinner when she wishes, but she can also close her door and lose herself in her books and classical music. The results have been remarkable for everyone. Sarah's constant worry has been replaced by the quiet comfort of knowing her mother is safe and just a flight of stairs away. Ellen's 2 young grandchildren are developing a deep, meaningful relationship with their grandmother, hearing her stories, learning to bake her famous apple pie, and absorbing a sense of history and continuity. And Ellen? She says she feels younger, more alive, simply by being immersed in the vibrant, sometimes noisy, energy of a living, breathing family. She isn't just being cared for, she is contributing, mentoring, and loving in real time. This trend taps directly into what Carl Jung identified as a crucial task of later life, finding new roles and a continuing sense of purpose. In a well-designed intergenerational home, an older adult is not a passive guest or a burden. They are a mentor, a storyteller, a living library of family history, and sometimes a cherished co-caregiver for the children. Their wisdom grounds the family. Their presence enriches the home in ways that cannot be measured in dollars and cents. Does the idea of bringing generations closer together resonate with you? If you see the profound value in this model of living, please share your support by commenting with the number 3 below. Of course, this arrangement requires careful planning and honest conversations about boundaries, finances, and household responsibilities. It is not a magical fix for every family dynamic. But for many, the potential rewards far outweigh the challenges. I have seen it with my own eyes. Adult children and their elderly parents, whose relationships had been reduced to dutiful weekly phone calls, suddenly rediscover one another. The healing doesn't happen through grand, dramatic conversations, but through the small, shared moments of daily life. A cup of coffee on the porch in the morning, a shared laugh over a TV show in the evening. Living together, with enough space and clear boundaries, can mend old wounds and build new bridges of understanding. Communities and city planners are beginning to embrace this shift. Progressive cities are changing their zoning laws to make it easier and more affordable for homeowners to build ADUs. They recognize that these granny flats are a powerful tool for creating more diverse, stable, and caring neighborhoods. Furthermore, innovative developers are creating entire communities designed around this principle, featuring a mix of single-family homes, duplexes, and small apartment clusters where younger and older families can live side by side by design, sharing resources like playgrounds, gardens, and community event spaces. This is a quiet antidote to the epidemic of loneliness that has swept through our age-segregated society. So, if you have ever felt torn between the desire for your own independence and the deep-seated need to be close to those you love, know that there is a growing and viable middle path. Intergenerational housing is not a step backward into the past. It is a thoughtful, creative leap forward, a way to age with dignity, meaning, and the irreplaceable warmth of family connection. 4. The future is collaborative, wellness-focused villages, and the new definition of retirement. What if aging wasn't viewed as a gentle decline, but as an opportunity for reinvention? What if the place you called home was designed not just for safety and comfort, but for the explicit purpose of helping you thrive, physically, mentally, and socially? This is the visionary premise behind the final and perhaps most exciting trend we're exploring today: the rise of wellness-focused retirement villages. These are not your grandparents' retirement communities. They are vibrant, purpose-built environments that are completely redefining the experience of later life. Forget the stereotype of sleepy, monochrome communities with endless golf courses and scheduled bingo nights. The new wave of wellness villages is dynamic, holistic, and built on the scientific principles of healthy aging. At the heart of these communities, you won't just find a basic gym. You will find a comprehensive wellness center that is the village's vibrant, beating heart. Imagine starting your day with a Tai Chi class on a sun-drenched lawn, followed by a swim in a heated therapy pool. In the afternoon, you might attend a workshop on brain health, join a group acupuncture session, or participate in a nutrition seminar led by a registered dietitian.
These villages understand a fundamental truth. Aging well is not merely about the absence of illness. It is about the active cultivation of vitality. The very design of these places reflects this philosophy. They are often created in partnership with gerontologists, psychologists, and even behavioral economists to nudge residents toward healthier choices. You'll find wide, well-lit walking paths that meander through beautiful gardens, making a daily stroll an invitation rather than a chore. The on-site cafes prioritize fresh, locally sourced food. The community buildings are filled with natural light and designed to encourage spontaneous social interaction. It's all subtle, but the cumulative effect is powerful. Studies have shown that residents in these environments tend to be more active, report higher levels of happiness, and, crucially, have fewer hospitalizations than their peers in traditional settings. Have you ever dreamed of a retirement that was focused on growth and vitality? If this vision of a wellness-focused community excites you, let us know by commenting with the number 4 below. We love seeing which of these future-forward ideas inspires our audience the most. Perhaps the most significant element that sets these villages apart is their built-in emphasis on purpose and contribution. Residents are not seen as passive consumers of services. They are active co-creators of the community's culture. They lead clubs based on their lifelong passions, whether it's woodworking, creative writing, or amateur astronomy. They mentor young people from nearby towns, volunteer for local charities, or tend to the community greenhouse that supplies produce for the village kitchen. There is a palpable rhythm of engagement and meaning. You feel like you are still part of something vital and evolving. This aligns perfectly with Jung's psychological framework. In his later writings, he stressed the importance of integration, of bringing together all the parts of one's life into a cohesive, meaningful whole. These villages are the physical manifestation of that idea. They don't ask you to shed your past self upon entry. They invite you to bring your wisdom, your skills, and your curiosity with you, providing a fertile ground for them to blossom in new ways. They don't just house you, they energize you. Now, it is important to address the elephant in the room: affordability. Historically, many of these cutting-edge communities have come with a high price tag, placing them out of reach for the average retiree. However, the trend is moving in a more equitable direction. As the model proves its effectiveness in improving health outcomes and reducing long-term care costs, more nonprofits, faith-based organizations, and even public-private partnerships are stepping in to develop affordable versions. They understand that investing in preventative wellness and community is not only more compassionate, but also more economically sustainable in the long run. The future of aging is not endless rows of hospital beds. It is greenhouses, conversation circles, and fitness centers where the instructor truly understands what a 75-year-old shoulder can and cannot do. The most telling sign of this shift? Many of these wellness villages have long wait lists. People are not lining up out of desperation. They are lining up out of excitement. They are choosing to step into a new chapter defined not by limitation, but by possibility. What is one wellness activity, be it physical, mental, or social, that you would love to have right outside your doorstep? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your ideas could inspire the next generation of these amazing communities. If you are navigating your 60s, 70s, or 80s, you have likely heard the well-meaning but soul-dampening advice to just prepare for the nursing home. But as we have explored today, a profoundly different and more hopeful future is not just on the horizon, it is already here. It is a future where aging does not mean surrendering your autonomy, but rather gaining a richer palette of options. It is a future where you can choose to live surrounded by a chosen family of friends, in a home that acts as your silent guardian, in a village that energizes your body and soul, or in the warm embrace of your multi-generational family. These trends, intentional communities, tech-powered independence, intergenerational living, and wellness-focused villages, are not fantasies. They are powerful currents of change, slowly but surely eroding the monolithic, outdated idea that aging is something to be managed and feared. The world is finally catching up to a truth that vibrant older adults have known all along. Aging is not a problem to be solved, but a life stage to be shaped with wisdom, courage, and community. Let's be honest, many of us grew up with a different script. We were taught to work hard, raise our families, and then quietly fade into a recliner. But that old story is crumbling under the weight of its own inadequacy. You do not have to settle for it. You have the right and the power to choose how your next chapter is written. That is the incredible gift of being informed and open-minded in this new era. So, what stood out to you the most today? Was it the radical simplicity of co-housing with friends, the quiet dignity afforded by smart technology, or the profound, life-affirming energy of a community built for holistic well-being? Take what you have learned and let it marinate. Talk about it with your family, your friends, and your partner. Change rarely begins with a grand gesture. It begins with a conversation, a new idea taking root, or a small but decisive shift in how we imagine what is possible for ourselves. After all this analysis, what is the most important lesson you've learned for your own journey? We would be truly honored to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and stories are the lifeblood of this community. Thank you for joining us on this exploration. The journey of aging is a long and personal one, but it doesn't have to be a lonely one. Remember to start with small, empowered steps today. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, please show your support, a share, and by subscribing to the channel. Your engagement provides us with the motivation and encouragement to continue creating content that matters. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.